So who is ready to check out another RC Jeep? Yes, I know there are a ton of them out there, and some of you, your minds just exploded because there is another Jeep on the market. But this one's from Kyosho, and it's got some killer detail on it. So if you love Jeeps, it's gonna be right up your alley. If you wish it was something besides a Jeep, I think you still might be interested too, and you're gonna wanna watch this video. This is a Mini Z 4x4, and we actually reviewed one of the first Mini Z 4x4s that came out. It was the 4Runner, probably about 7 months ago. It was a lot of fun, and the detail on that body was incredible, and it's passed on here. They did a stellar job recreating this Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon body, and what we're gonna do here is we're basically gonna go over the body detail. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to link to the 4Runner video because I have a ton of detail about the chassis in there, and we're gonna go over a little bit here, but just want to talk to you about the big changes, and that of course is the body. So, it's a Jeep body. It's a Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon, as I mentioned before, and it's available in 2 different colors. So we obviously got the gunmetal here, but it's also available in white. And the detail is just killer. I mean, it's a molded ABS body. We've got clear tinted windows on this. The roof is a matte black, and I should mention that the gunmetal paint here does have a metal flake to it, which is just fabulous, the way they painted it. Not a defect anywhere that I could see on this thing. I mean, it's really like die-cast quality here. We've got the iconic 7-slot grille in the front from Jeep, round headlights. The fender flares are also painted a matte black. We've got red taillights in the back. Tires mounted to a spare tire carrier. We've got mirrors on the sides, windshield wipers. I mean, all the detail you would expect from a high-quality vehicle. And, Kyosho, the Mini Zs are high quality. That's one thing I picked up in our 4Runner video is some people said, well, the quality doesn't look like it's there. In the Mini Z stuff, it is. If you've never had one before, you may not understand it, but once you have one, you understand it. Especially in the electronics package. They put a lot of time and quality materials into the electronics, even though it's small and ready to run. Really good stuff here. So basically, that's it for the outside. That's the big change from what we've seen last time. It still has the cool little clips on the sides that help pop off the body really easily, and it's probably going to give me a hard time again, but it does pop off. Actually, it's because I'm doing it on camera, but it does, there we go. It slides right off, underneath. There's no interior. You could probably go and put one in there, and I believe there is a light option for LED light option that you could go and get for it as well. Definitely, they show it in their videos. But the chassis itself, let me go over this really quick. Very cool little chassis setup. We've got a ladder frame, steel ladder frame chassis on this, composite cross braces, of course. The motor is mounted in the center with a center transmission. We've got a 2-in-1 unit out back, which is the receiver and speed controller. And again, this right here, they spend a lot of time on this. So you're gonna get great radio reception, great response, and great throttle response as well. This is tuned for off-road performance. There is a servo mounted up front with proper steering geometry. There's a little bump steer in it, but it does steer well. Based on the other Mini Z 4x4 that I ran, the 4Runner, we've got friction shocks on this, which, I mean, it feels really cool and it does work really well. There is 3-link suspension front and rear, steel rods on the bottom. Back to the drivetrain, we've got axles front and rear with very small ring and pinions on there. Just basically like a miniature scale setup on this. Slider drive shafts in the center. Full ball bearings throughout, and the quality and design that you would expect from a Kyosho vehicle. Up front and rear, we've got bumpers that we saw on the 4Runner. They're also reused on this as well. And I think that's really about it. All you're gonna need to run this thing is 8 AAA batteries. So 4 of them are going to go in here, and the other 4 are going to go into the included radio system. And just to touch on this really quick, great little ready to run radio system. The Synchro has your basic trim functions on there, but super comfortable radio for a ready to run radio. I do like that. Also in the package, a bunch of pinion gear. So if you want to go and change out the gear ratio on this, they give you the stuff you need to do that. I think it was like 6 or something that are in there, and motor spacers that you need to do it. Of course, you got an instruction manual, and that's really it. Like I said, drop 8 AAA batteries into this thing and just instantly go outside, have some fun, or go crawling indoors. I mean, that's what this is really great for. Winter's coming up, and if you want to get your crawl on, you can go set up something indoors and just have a lot of fun with this. And when you're done, You put it on the shelf and it looks really awesome. All right, time for me to stop talking, head outside and show you how much fun it is to drive the Jeep Mini Z 4x4. So it's going to take longer for you to unscrew this thing from the box than it is to install the 8 AAA batteries and go outside and start driving. But this thing is really, really easy to use. For those of you that just want to have something simple, something fun, this is right up your alley. And on top of it, it's got the detail to make everything you do look really awesome. And it is capable as well. So I took it over to an off-road walking trail because that is really the perfect spot for something of this size. That's one thing to keep in mind. If you're into RC, maybe you have a 10 scale vehicle, you can't go and drive it on the same surfaces. And I actually tried to drive it on some challenging stuff when I got to that park, but you really just have to go kind of flat trailing, find some gentle inclines on rocks and stuff like that. And that's where you're really going to have a lot of fun with this. So over in the park, I mean, just walking along the trail, you know, it is a bit slower than your walking pace. But what I liked doing was just kind of finding a spot and just kind of driving around back and forth through the dirt and stuff like that. When I was able to find some rocks to climb up and over, just kind of kneel down next to the obstacle and kind of, you know, navigated through everything. And you know, it is a very capable little rig. I mean, the throttle is fairly smooth. It does tend to stall out if you're really trying to, you know, challenge it. Throttle up some rocks that may catch both wheels at the same time. There was a couple of V-gaps where I was trying to crawl up through, and it would just stall out. And then I kind of pumped the throttle a little bit, and it was actually able to get out. But you know, it does have its limits. Again, kind of just that smooth flowing terrain, that's where this thing really shines. It really looks cool in that type of terrain. Steering on this is actually respectable for the size of it. You know, I think it works really well. It would like a little bit more traction out of the tires. They're actually Nitto Ridge Grappler tires, a licensed tire. I don't think I mentioned that before, but they don't have a lug to them, a very large lug. Pattern is very tight there, so you get some wheel spin in some of the dirt and sometimes on the rocks and stuff like that. But the course rock, it was able to climb up that stuff, and you know, overall it did very well. The articulation, you know, when you're on the throttle, it does hang the axle, so it will kind of wave at you in the air depending on the angle that you're at. It is a little top heavy. I mean, it is an ABS body on there, so when you're side hilling some things, it will roll over. Again, stick to that flat trailing type of stuff. Going over rolling dirt and rocks and stuff like that, that's where you're really, really gonna have a lot of fun. And indoors. I mean, you could go set up stuff indoors, whether you're stacking some books up or something like that, and just have some fun crawling inside. But it definitely looks very, very cool when you're driving it outside. All right, guys, that is our quick review of the new Mini Z 4x4 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon. Man, they've got some long names to these vehicles, but it is a fun rig. You know, it is $200, but you know, you get a scale detail body on there. There is quality under the hood on this. And, you know, for a lot of people, it's worth it. They're going to enjoy it for that $200. If you haven't done so yet, please click that subscribe button and the notifications bell. Throw the video a like. We'll see you back soon for some more RC Driver videos.